Hello, and welcome to another edition of Sports Card ASMR. I'm the Sports Card Doctor, and I am really happy that you are here today. In fact, I'm so happy that I'm here to make you an offer. If you're newer to the channel, perhaps you'd like to subscribe to the channel and help us reach some of our goals. At the time of this recording, and it could change by the time I publish this video, we are very close to reaching one of our goals of 750 subscribers. And once there, we are going to open up this pack of 1989 Fleer logo stickers and trading cards and see if we can pull from this pack the infamous, the celebrated, the memorable Billy Ripken swear card. Now, some of you might remember the swear word that's on the card, but we're not going to say it here. I have some younger viewers, and I don't want their minds to be full of the potty mouth that was Billy Ripken's baseball bat. But if you subscribe, you might help us reach that goal. Now, this is the channel that combines sports card, nostalgia, and ASMR relaxation. We squish it together. We squish it, mold it, move it. It's malleable. It's just like a squishy little ball of Play-Doh. And you just do this and you don't really know what to do with it. You don't really, and it's all the Play-Doh starts to pick up the hair on the floor because you dropped it there. And you're just like, what do I do with this? What? Sorry. I got distracted. Now, alright. What we do here is open up cards, sports cards, and we find in those cards certain legends. Sometimes we cut up cards. Sometimes we are amazed at the cards we find. And I'm looking forward to adding some legends today to this stack of pre-opened cards, like this Crime Dog Fred McGriff card, this Freddie Freeman blueprint card, Sid Bream, who's about to recruit you into a multi-level marketing scheme like Primerica, 1987 All-Star Ozzie Smith, or Steeler legend Mark Malone. Now, we are also racing towards 1,000 subscribers for this channel, and once we do that, we are going to induct Mark Malone into the Sports Card ASMR Hall of Fame. So, will we find some legends today? Will we add some of them to our penny sleeve collection? Started by our listener Eric, who sent these penny sleeves in. There's an address down below in the description if you'd like to send the Sports Card Doctor something. Now, before I get going today, we definitely need to clean the space. In fact, the truth is, I ate a lot of meals here today. My fiance was out of town, so I was kind of a bachelor again, which means there's some fast food crumbs, there's some 7-Eleven sandwich of crumbs, there's a whole lot of guilt and shame here, so let me see if I can clean this table. The truth is, though, these aren't very damp. I think I need a new pack. Yeah. Yeah, look at that. There is no moisture on these towels. It's one of the only times in life you want something to be moist. 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 That's disappointing. Well, I guess we're gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. Water, paper towel, and spraying. let that dry. Okay. Now, what cards are we going to open up today? That's a great question. We have some choices here. We still have this box from John at The Past is Alive. Cards to open up here. Open up this 87 Topps rack back. This little leaf set here. The O-Pee-Chee, the Diamond Destiny from Upper Deck. And we have two Upper Deck sets here. Let's put that 89 flare back in its home. So we do have that. We don't have a lot left in this box. Pack of Olympic cards given to us in person by our friend Troy on a rainy night in Boston. And we have so many packs of 1991 Topps and 1987 Topps. We literally have 2 boxes from my crazy youthful days. I don't know why I saved a box of 91 Topps and a box of 87 Topps, but I have. So I think we're going to open up a pack of 91. '91 was an interesting year for Major League Baseball. They were kind of coming out of the golden age of the late 80s baseball, which had been marred with some controversies. The 1985 trials, where a lot of players were like, yep, we're on cocaine. There was the 1987 season where the ball was clearly juiced, because even, Wade Boggs hit 24 home runs, though many claim he could have done that every year if he wanted, but you had, if you thought the ball was juiced a little bit later on. 87 was a crazy year for it, and then 88, the Dodgers, the Kirk Gibson thing, the A's dynasty, the 89 earthquake. The 80s ended both in good and bad ways for Major League Baseball. But the 1990s started to usher in a new era of baseball stars. Ken Griffey Jr., of course, arrived. Frank Thomas. Mo Vaughn. Fortunately, Bo Jackson's run was very short, and by 1991, the end would be nigh for Bo Jackson. But you had Jeff Bagwell, Craig Biggio, a lot of the players who would help modernize the game, connecting it to the era we're in now in a lot of ways. Bigger, stronger, faster, and yes, I know what that implies. But beyond that, not all the players were dirty. Not all the players were taking the drugs that Major League Baseball turned a blind eye to. And let's not forget clubhouse coffee and greenies that had been a staple of the sport for decades. But enough on the drugs. I don't have the answer. But if you're young and watching, kids, don't do PEDs. Unless you want a big contract and lifelong fame. Alright, anyways. This is an interesting year. And we're going to dive in to see what can be found in our 1991 Topps. A stick of gum. Let's see if we get some clicks. Let's see if we got a moist stick of gum. And for those of you that enjoy just the crinkles. We do have some just crinkle videos in our past, and I'm going to be making one again soon. Alright, let's snap some gum here. Oh, that's not a good sign. It just kind of fell apart. This is gum that's over 30 years old. Ooh, no snap. That, my friends, is a moist stick of gum. Oh, like it's just breaking apart in my hand like it's boiled spaghetti. It's breaking apart in my hand like most of my career. Alright. Well, that was a disappointing stick of gum. The first time I've said that in my life. Alright. Let's see who we pull from this pack of 1991 Topps. Alright. Bill Wegman. I wouldn't call him part of the future of the game. Greg Lefferts, one of my favorites, just an absolute entertaining personality. When they used to call him in for the bullpen, he'd sprint. He'd run so hard. If I did that, I'd die on the mound. Otis Nixon, you know, I did like Otis Nixon. He had some off-field problems, I know. Wasn't exactly a superstar, but a great speedster. Spike Owen, playing for the Expos. Great baseball name, Spike Owen. Also sounds like an independent wrestler from about 2008. There's Ernie Witt, the catcher for Atlanta here, but for many years with Toronto, who Ernie started with the Red Sox. Let's not forget. Ernie Witt, one of those players that looked 51 even though he was in his 30s. It was a different time. Mark Guthrie, Billy Spires, Andy Hawkins. You know, this is a 1991 Topps card, so it shows the 1990 Yankees, where Andy Hawkins threw a no-hitter and lost 4-0. I think eventually Major League Baseball didn't call it a no-hitter. They took it away from him because he didn't go 9 innings. Dark times for my Yankees in 1990, and yes, I do recommend the Hulu doc on the Bronx Zoo in 1990. It's entertaining and at times disturbing. It's the insert. Hopped on me like a frog I was trying to catch down at the lake. Let's get some tadpoles. Ah, yes. What kid didn't love pulling a checklist? Speaking of the 1990 Yankees, here's one of the reasons they sucked. The late Pascual Perez signed a big contract, and then he got hurt, and some of it can be blamed on the Yankees themselves. But my favorite thing about Pascual Perez during this time with the Yankees in 1990, he just didn't show up to spring training. He didn't want to. He wasn't ready. God bless him. Rosario Rodriguez. Well, we do have part of the game's future and past. Jose Canseco. We do have Bill Bathe, Bill Bathe and Bath, Bathy, Bathe. Bill Bathe, I think I remember him, backup catcher type. Scott Coolbaugh and Lloyd Mosby, part of the 80s baseball success with the Blue Jays, now with the Tigers, finishing up his career. Now Scott Coolbaugh is interesting. He had a decent career, you know, nothing that would turn heads. But in 1990, Coolbaugh had 2 cups of coffee. Well, 1990, 67 games. That's a 6-pack of coffee. You're up all night if that's the amount of coffee you're drinking. He didn't 67 games, 180 at bats, 2 home runs, 13 RBIs. But Coolbaugh was part of that future of baseball vibe. As a player like him, you're like, is he going to be a new Steve Buechele? Is he going to be a player that can turn the Rangers around? He and players like Dean Palmer would come later, Juan Gonzalez. And that's what I kind of like about this era. We didn't know, and the answer was Scott Coolbaugh. Kind of no, but he had a good, decent career. Was part of the future of the game. All right, not a great pack. I'll admit that. I'm not done. I'm not done opening. Let's go more into the future of the game. I'm gonna open up another pack here of 1991 Topps. Again, fascinated by this era. More hope for a crack here. Not as moist. Oh no, that's pretty moist. That's actually kind of disgusting. Sorry about that. All right, let's see. Any other future stars of the game we can pull from this pack here? Scotty Fletcher, not so much. Robbie Thompson, kind of. He was a few years in by this point. He'd be a perennial all-star. Ted Power, not so much. Bob Tewksbury, he'd be an ace for the Cardinals for a bit. Former Yankee farmhand. Gerald Clark. Gerald Clark is definitely one of the players that you would have thought was going to make a difference in the 90s. Jeff Hewson, son of Tom, I believe, Gold Cup rookie. But, well, holy moly, look at this. Look at this. The fates are trying to tell us something. The baseball gods are saying, pay your respects to Jose Canseco. That's impressive. Okay, I don't know what to think about that. It's Barry Jones. Alright, and there's Jerome Walton. Oh, here's a good run. This is a Rookie of the Year, Jerome Walton. There's Ellis Burks. John Orton. I've told the story before, but for those that are just joining, John Orton in around the spring of 1989, I believe, maybe a little bit later, time flies, he actually came to my house. He lived in my hometown, and he went to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and he showed up with his brother-in-law, his sister. His brother-in-law was a minor league farmhand named Reed Davis, an outfielder. And John Orton bought my dining room table. Clearly one of the highlights of my life. There's Mickey Morandini, Tom Sherrill, Todd Benzinger, great card, and Carl Nichols. Carl Nichols looks like he's the future of like 1970s baseball there. This is an interesting pack of cards. I like this set here. Benzinger, I'm counting him as kind of a future star. Johnny wasn't. Yeah, this is a good pack. It's a good pack of cards to show you. And let's not forget the Canseco. These are some of the stars of the game who would make the 90s what they were. Now again, Thompson came up in 87, 86 exactly. He'd already been playing for years, but mainstay with those giant teams. Tewksbury, he was a big winner for the Cardinals into the early 90s. Gerald Clark, yeah, his career did not pan out like some would thought, but a lot of people thought he would join the outfield with Tony Gwynn, Sean Abner, Shane Mack, I think comes to mind. A lot of those kind of players. And Jeff Hewson. Now this is interesting here, kids. He's a Gold Cup rookie. He had started with the Expos. Comes on over here. And his rookie year is 95 hits, 0 home runs, 28 RBIs, a 240 batting average. And he was, according to Topps, the best rookie shortstop in the 1990 season. Definitely a different era. And that kind of what was about to change. That's what's about to change is what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. The sports card doctor might be drunk today. Who knows? Is players like this, those kind of stats, be less normal for those that broke through. Jerome Walton, like I said, a Rookie of the Year in 1989, had the 30-game hit streak. Ellis Burks, a early fantasy baseball star when he would, early in terms of this modern giant era of stats, because he would go to the Rockies when they still didn't know what to do with the baseballs, and I think he could close his eyes, swing his bat one-handed, and hit a 400-foot home run. Loved Ellis Burks, but very much a modern player, very much about speed and power. And as a Yankee fan, I was afraid of Ellis Burks being on the Red Sox. Mickey Morandini, scrappy shortstop, he part of those Phillies teams that played very well in the 90s, and Todd Benzinger. You know, did he end up being the superstar that people thought he would be? No. But he was a key part of the 1990s World Series Reds. Versatile player, great hitter, and very indicative of this era of baseball. Good pack of cards. Good pack of cards. Fascinated with these, though. What are the fates want from us here? What are they doing here, these fates? Oh, sorry, that was a crackling Rosie. Get on board. That was too loud. Sports Card Doctor apologizes for that. Card size is good, but look, it's uneven here. We got about just under a quarter of an inch on this side. Ooh, not even close to being. It's like a half a quarter. So that'd be an eighth. If you know your halves and quarters and eighths. If you know your fractions. I don't. I got as high as Algebra 2 trigonometry in high school, and I was an A student. And then I decided one day, I don't want to do this. One day I want to open up baseball cards on the internet. And a lot of people stared at me very, very weirdly in 1994. All right, Jose Canseco. AL runs batted in later. 37 home runs. Far from his 19 still, so far from his 40-40 season, but he was everything you wanted him to be. He was a superstar. All right, Scott Coolbaugh. I think we're going to wrap up this video in a very old school way. This is Sports Card ASMR. We've gone through a lot of sports card nostalgia today, but now we're going to go through the ASMR relaxation to end. Cut his arm. Apologize for that, Scott. All right. Look at that. We can do this a little bit. All right, fine. We're truly doing old school sports card ASMR. Be careful, I'm going up. Sorry. Oh, God, no, sorry. Okay. Whew. Sorry, Scott. There you go. Scott Coolbaugh, the future of the Texas Rangers, along with Jose Canseco, part of the game's success in the 90s. You've been cut up. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. the sports card doctor. Here, sports card ASMR.